Hello, everyone. My name is Anna Pečёrina. Welcome to the course called Critical Thinking. This is an introductory lesson in which we'll go over the basics together. Look at this picture. In large measure, our lives are guided, are defined by our actions and our choices. And our actions and choices are in turn guided by our thinking. So our thinking had better be good. Yeah, and it's a good idea to learn to think efficiently. At the same time, almost every day we're hit by a blizzard of assertions, opinions, arguments, pronouncements from all directions. They all push us to believe, to accept, to follow, or to submit. But are we sure that we're doing the right thing? Or are we sure that we make the right choices and it's a good idea to do so? Are we sure that what we believe is true? So if we want to rise above this blind acceptance, we need to learn to think efficiently, and critical thinking skills will come in useful here. You know that workplace is changing repeatedly, and workers in almost every job face new problems. Familiar responses no longer work, and even, those newly acquired ones won't work for long. And our world is becoming increasingly complex and technical, and people are required to carry out multi-step operations. They need to manipulate abstract and complex symbols and ideas. They need to be able to acquire new information efficiently, but at the same time remain flexible enough to recognize the need for change or for new paradigms of learning. And the information explosion, look at this picture, is yet another reason why we need to learn to think efficiently. We now have an incredible wealth of information available. You know about this. Like, it's quite literally at our fingertips. Yeah, you can get whatever you want, whatever you need. And the quantity of data that is available is overwhelming, right? And this database of information is ever expanding. This creates that so-called paralysis of analysis, as we find ourselves unable to select the right information. So there is a lot of it, but we can't choose whatever we need. Yeah, because there's so much. So we need the criteria for looking for information. And we need to learn to deal with relevant and credible information. Yes, so we need to make sure, we need to get some tools to find out if the information is relevant or credible. And this information then has to be selected, interpreted, digested, evaluated, learned, and then applied. Otherwise, it's useless. Yeah, if it just remains on the computer screen or on a distant library shelf. So we need to be able to learn to use this information, yeah, and to select the right information. So as you can imagine, the most competitive intellectual skills for the 21st century are the abilities of knowing how to learn and knowing how to think clearly and efficiently. And this is not a secret. Yeah, market is oversaturated. So the level of competition is very high. So the person who has this competitive advantage is the winner. Of course, we always have the option of taking the easy way out. Look at the mirror, look at the picture. Yeah. We can simply adopt other people's beliefs. Yeah. We can do what they say. We can do what they believe is true. Okay. We can adopt other people's statements or viewpoints because they make us feel good. And we can just go with the wind. Yeah, like a leaf here. So that's the easy way. But then a consequence of going with the wind is a loss of personal freedom. Yeah, because if you passively accept the beliefs that you've been handed, that have been handed to you by your parents, yeah, your culture, your teachers, yeah, then those beliefs are not really yours. Okay? Have you ever thought about that? If they're not really yours and you let them guide your choices and actions, then they are in charge of your lives, not you. Can you imagine that? Right? This is something we take for granted. This is something we never think about. When we passively absorb other people's ideas and the ideas that we encounter, yeah, when we refuse to consider any alternative explanations or theories, when we conform just our ideas to the wishes of the group, yeah, and when we let our thinking be controlled by bias, stereotypes, superstition, or wishful thinking, we're deep, deep in the box. Yeah. But we rise above all that when we have the courage to think critically. Yeah. And in a very important sense, critical thinking is thinking outside the box. You might have heard about this. Yeah. And what we need to know is that your beliefs are yours only if you critically examine them for yourself. Yeah. To see if they're supported by good reasons, to see if you have good reasons for believing. Yeah. So I believe you would be willing to take the hard way because you don't want to lose control over your life. Yeah. And let the wind take you wherever it will. Yeah. As if you had no more say in the outcome of your life than just a leaf in the storm. Yeah. Let's take a closer look at the beliefs that we have. Yeah. You know that when you were born, you came into this world without beliefs, opinions, or judgments, or values, or viewpoints. Yeah. Like your mind was blank. Yeah. And now you're an adult and your head is brimming with them, with values, with viewpoints, with beliefs, with some judgments, with some opinions. And I'm sure if you try to write them all down, yeah, you would be busy for the rest of your life. Yeah, because there are just so many of them. And the beliefs that we have, the beliefs that we hold, the opinions that we just have, yeah, they help us to make our way through the world, right? They guide us to both failure or success, ignorance and understanding, good and bad, yeah, paralysis and empowerment. So some of your beliefs, as you can see, truly inform you. Some of your beliefs are really good beliefs, yeah, and they help you a lot in your life, and you can rely on them, and they guide your decisions, and they guide your actions, and those are good decisions and good actions. But some of them blind you, okay? But are you aware of that? To what extent are you aware of that? And some beliefs are true, and some are not. Or some of them are no longer true. They used to be true, but they're no longer true for you. But the question is, which ones are which? You have a lot of them. Yeah, you remember your head is brimming with them, but which ones are which? Which ones are good? Which ones are bad? And this kind of question, a question about the quality of your beliefs, is the fundamental concern of critical thinking. To examine your beliefs is to actually examine your life, right? Because everything in life is guided by our beliefs. If you're a teacher, your actions, your methodology is guided by your beliefs. Whatever you do in the classroom is guided by your beliefs, whether you are aware of that or not. Okay, in your life, everything is guided by our beliefs. Yeah, and because our beliefs in large measure define our lives. And the great philosopher Socrates says it best, the unexamined life is not worth living. Yeah. What's the point if we do everything automatically, if we do things mechanically without even thinking if we're doing the right thing? Yeah, taking the time to stop and think about what we're doing and why we're doing and whether it's a good thing to do. Okay. And so critical thinking, and this is a crucial thing, is not about what you think. So it's not about the content of thinking, but it's about how you think. It's about the form of thinking. And it's crucial because critical thinking can be applied to absolutely every sphere of your life. Yeah, you can put, this is a form, and you can stuff it with any content you like in virtually any sphere. Okay, so critical thinking is the form of thinking, right? And it's the correct form of thinking. And if you learn this form, you can use it everywhere. And it should be noted that the question about the quality of beliefs is not about what factors caused you to have the beliefs that you do. Of course, it's an interesting thing to look at, yeah, to look into, like what led you to have this belief. Yeah, like where did you take this belief from? And it's interesting to observe. And sometimes looking into that already helps you to reconsider everything. Yeah, a sociologist here might tell you that a society like has influenced some of your moral choices, some of your beliefs. And a psychologist might tell you that you have unconsciously absorbed most of your beliefs directly from your parents, and all of them are true, right? That's what happens. And we can't change that yet, because as we grow up, we just unconsciously absorb so much from the environment, from the family. But neither of these speculations have much to do with the central task of critical thinking. Yeah. And this critical thinking focuses not on what causes a belief. Yeah. Although sometimes we can look at the reasons for a certain belief, but on whether it's worth believing. Yeah. A belief is worth believing or accepting if we have good reasons to accept it. Yeah. And the better the reasons for acceptance, the more likely the belief is to be true. And critical thinking offers us a set of standards that we can use to assess beliefs, right? And to determine if they're supported by good reasons. And these are fantastic tools. After all, we want our beliefs to be true, right? And we want our beliefs to be good guides for dealing with the world. And critical thinking is the best tool we have for achieving this goal. Despite the fact that some critics have claimed that critical thinking is just a fad, and it will surely go out of style, go out of fashion, it has a very long history in psychology and education. John Dewey, and you can see the picture, the pioneering American educator, identified learning to think as the primary purpose of education back in 1933. Yeah. Moreover, a great deal of critical thinking skills just are based on logic, and logic is part of critical thinking. So as you might see, so this is not just a fad, yeah. And since the participants of my courses, yeah, and very often like critical thinking is about reconsidering like your beliefs in your job, and a lot of my students are teachers, yeah. So it's twice as important to question your personal theories and beliefs and learn about yourself. Yeah. And this is what's highlighted by Palmer in 1998. And I'd like to just read this out to you. This is very much connected with teaching. Yeah. When I do not know myself, I cannot know who my students are. I will see them through a glass darkly, and the shadows of my unexamined life. And when I cannot see them clearly, I cannot teach them well. Yeah. It means that a teacher should be a good critical thinker. Yeah. A good teacher should be able to reconsider their approaches, reconsider their beliefs, and see if they have good reasons for that. Yeah. And the whole idea of influencing the way people think might seem scary to you. Yeah. It suggests terms like mind control and propaganda, or perhaps even a big brother, like who's watching you, like the one in Orwell's novel 1984, who knew what you were thinking. Yeah. But in reality, though, critical thinking is an antidote to the kind of mind control that worried Orwell. Yeah, because a lot of manipulations are based on mistakes in reasoning and mistakes in thinking. And if you're aware of those mistakes, if you're aware of those cognitive biases, yeah, and logical fallacies, it means you can recognize when you are being manipulated, yeah, and you can take countermeasures. Right. So this is a fantastic tool that we're going to explore in our course called Critical Thinking. And in this slide, you can just read a couple of facts about me. Yeah, so something about myself. I'm a teacher trainer. I'm a certified coach, and I'm an English teacher. I'm a reflective practitioner specializing in test preparation. And that's what I hold. I hold Delta Module 3, CPA, CA, CELTA, IH Certificate of Teaching Young Learners, SAT TESOL, that's an American certificate of CELTA. And I have a master's degree in the English language and literature, and an international certificate in coaching, ACSTH ICF. I have worked as a director of studies and a school director for International House Donetsk. I've been a Cambridge presenter for the British Council, and I'm a conference speaker, and I've presented at lots of conferences, and I'm an author of tailor-made professional development courses for teachers. Over the course of my career, apart from teaching general business, financial and legal English, I have worked with a full range of international examinations like IELTS, CPE, CAE, FC, BEC, ILEC, that's legal English, International Certificate in Legal English, ICFA, that's International Certificate in Financial English, SAT, GMAT, and GRE, those are exams for native speakers. And I have successfully prepared students for examinations where critical thinking is tested directly. And those were GMAT and GRE. So thank you so much for your attention, and I hope to see you in lesson 1, where we're going to delve into the magic of critical thinking. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.